Alright, everyone. After over 13 hours, we have a similar situation to the first decision. Most of you elected to vote for taking the fighter now and explaining later, giving reasoning such as, the book killed us with the first decision of the game, but sooner or later it's gonna split, right? This thing isn't linear, is it? And you also noted how Delta's primary expertise is being an expert pilot. And, suggesting that hopefully Delta can radio into base along the way to explain the situation. Those of you who are in the minority who suggested that we do it by the book and talk with our commanding officer, Hawk, threw out such lines as, the book talks about how we're supposed to be teamed together with some other people of G.I. Joe. And, well, the book's already proven that will kill us with the first decision, so let's not rush in, only fools rush in, right? Oh well. Sorry, minority. We are going to take the fighter now and explain later. Okay. Regulations or no regulations, you've got to stop these COBRA agents and recover the aircraft they stole. Excuse me. So you'll just have to steal a plane of your own. It takes you 35 seconds to reach the nearest P-140 fighter. You check the fuel tanks, the rocket pods, and the rest of the aircraft. There is no sign of sabotage. You rip the protective cover off the engine, and you climb up the side of the plane and drop into the cockpit. You buckle yourself in and snap the electronics on. The systems check shows that both engines are good, so you rev up and turn onto the runway. The fighter races down the strip. The vibrations inside the plane build as you increase your speed. Then you nose up and the plane leaps into the nighttime sky. It's 1800 hours and 42 seconds. Your mission has begun. As the P-140 soars 27,000 feet, you feel great. There's nothing like being in the air and hot on the trail of your enemies. You activate the aircraft's radar tracking device and get a fix on the stolen fighter. It shows up as a fluorescent green blip on the radar screen. That plane is going to be impossible to miss. Then, switching to a security frequency, you get on the radio. Falcon Base Tower, this is Delta Fighter 1. Do you read? You know that Breaker is still on duty, so you wait patiently for his reply. But it doesn't come. Once again, you try to make contact. Falcon Base Tower, this is Delta Fighter 1. Will you get it together down there? Suddenly, a howling screech fills your earphones. Then it slowly fades away. Delta Fighter, this is the tower. Sorry for the interference, but things are still a bit raw here. Our communications got crossed up and our radar is down. What is your position? I'm at 27, you begin, but then you quickly nick off the radio. Infiltrators on base, stolen planes, communication blackouts, and now someone wants your position. That voice sure sounded like Breaker, but you aren't certain. You better be careful. This is the third page I've turned to so far. This whole dialogue thing. You're flying 27,000 feet off the ground, yet you suspect a possible sabotage by someone who's still down there at the G.I. Joe base. You'll have to outsmart them. Falcon Tower, you say into the radio. This is Delta Fighter. Things have been happening pretty fast around here, but I want to get all the details down in a full report. Over. Go ahead, Delta. We're listening. You adjust a few dials on the aircraft's control panel. Well, let's do important things first. I want it on the record that Breaker owes me $12 from last week, and no matter what happens to me, forget it, good buddy. A voice snaps over the radio. It's $8.50 and not a dime more. And if you try to jack it up any higher, you're going to find a crease in your fuselage that will severely affect your performance. Over. Breaker, you say with a big smile. It's a comfort and pleasure to talk to you, but I had to be sure that it was really you in control of the tower. Here's my report. More page flipping. That's my report. You quickly check the P-140's controls, then you give Breaker the facts over the radio. At 17:42 hours, 3 unidentified personnel opened fire on me midway down runway 2. They boarded a P-140 and took off in it, heading north. I'm tracking them on the radar screen. I'm going to stick with them, but I'll need some backup support. No problem, Delta. We'll put together a team and have them in the air in 5 minutes. Tower out. The radio goes quiet. You're alone in a pitch-black sky at 27,000 feet, on a course that will take you straight over the top of the world. You watch the Bandit P-140 on the radar screen. It's below you at 22,000 feet, flying smooth and easy. Suddenly, it banks hard to the left and goes into a full-power dive, heading right into the ground. It looks like the pilot's making a run for it. What are you going to do? Your first impulse is to stay on the Bandit's tail, but it's as dark as death tonight, and the other pilot's flying like a maniac. Maybe you don't have to match a suicidal dive. Maybe you can track him just as well on the radar screen. Well, what's it gonna be? If you hang with the Bandit, point the nose of your plane earthward and dive the page 56. If you keep your nose up, figuring that as long as the blip is on the radar screen there's no problem, turn to page 21. What do you know, folks? Not only did you get 4 pages of exposition, you have yourself an exciting decision to make. Do we pursue the plane in a suicidal dive, or do we hang back and rely on our radar? What do you know, folks? This choice didn't lead to death. And we even got a report in of some sort to the base. Woohoo! Alright, everyone. What should we do? Grimith out.